The gunshot echoed through the warehouse before Min-jae even saw the weapon. He threw himself sideways, pulling Delta down with him as concrete exploded where his head had been seconds before. Her body pressed against his, both of them breathing hard, and for a split second all he could think about was how perfectly she fit against him. Then another shot rang out and reality crashed back. "Stay down," he shouted, covering her body with his. "Like hell," Delta hissed back, her Nigerian accent thick with adrenaline. She grabbed the gun from his waistband before he could stop her. "I didn't survive Lagos to die in Seoul." Hey everyone. If you're new here, welcome. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our stories. Love intense romance and crime dramas? Drop a like and enjoy today's episode. 3 days earlier, Min-jae had been standing in his penthouse, staring at the Han River and wondering if this was all his life would ever be. Power. Money. Loneliness so deep it felt like drowning. His phone buzzed. "Boss, you need to get out," Tae-sung's voice came through. "There's someone you have to meet." "I'm not interested in meeting anyone. She's different. Trust me." An hour later, Min-jae walked into Velvet Rose, the exclusive club in Itaewon where Seoul's elite came to pretend they weren't criminals or politicians or both. The music was too loud, the lighting too red, everything designed to make you forget yourself. Then he saw her. Delta moved through the crowd like water, her dark skin luminous under the lights, her eyes sharp and guarded. When she looked at him, really looked at him, something in his chest cracked open. "You're the one Tae-sung won't shut up about," she said, stopping in front of him. Up close, she was even more beautiful. But it was the sadness in her eyes that hooked him. The kind of sadness that came from survival, not self-pity. "Min-jae," he said, extending his hand. She took it. Her grip was firm, confident. "Delta Okoye. And before you ask, yes, I'm Nigerian, yes, I'm a nursing student, and no, I don't want to hear about your money or your power or whatever makes men like you think you're special." He laughed. Actually laughed. "What if I just want to buy you dinner?" "Why?" "Because you're the first person in months who's looked at me like I'm human." Something shifted in her expression. A crack in the armor. "Magungwa. Tomorrow night. 8 p.m. And I'm paying for myself. Deal." She walked away and he couldn't take his eyes off her. Tae-sung appeared at his elbow. "Told you she was different. Who is she really? Does it matter?" It should have. But it didn't. The next night, Min-jae sat across from Delta in the most expensive private room in Seoul, and none of it impressed her. She picked at her food, her walls still up, until he said the thing he'd promised himself he wouldn't say. "The women I've dated, they always leave. All of them." Delta looked up. "Why?" "Because I'm different. Physically. I'm too big and it causes pain and I've tried everything but nothing works and I'm tired of watching people I care about look at me like I'm a monster." The words tumbled out faster than he intended. Vulnerable. Raw. He waited for her to make an excuse and leave like all the others. Instead, she reached across the table and took his hand. "I killed someone," she said quietly. "Back in Lagos. His name was Chukwudi. He was my boyfriend. He was also an informant and an enforcer, and when I found out, he tried to kill me. So I grabbed a kitchen knife and I fought back, and when it was over, he was dead and I was covered in his blood." Min-jae's breath caught. Self-defense. Try telling that to Interpol. "I've been running for 2 years. That's why I'm here. That's why I dance at a club and smile at men who disgust me. Because I'm a fugitive and I have nowhere else to go." The silence stretched between them. Two broken people. Two survivors. "I believe you," Min-jae said. "Why?" "Because I've killed people too. And I understand that sometimes survival doesn't give you good choices." Delta's eyes filled with tears. "You don't know me. I know enough." She stood up suddenly, and for a moment he thought she was leaving. Instead, she walked around the table and kissed him. Not gentle. Not tentative. A kiss that tasted like desperation and hope and 2 years of being afraid to touch anyone. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Delta whispered against his mouth, "If we do this, I need you to know I'm damaged. Broken. I have nightmares. I have panic attacks. I have." He kissed her again, cutting off her words. "So am I. Maybe that's why this works." They made it back to his penthouse, barely getting through the door before they were pulling at each other's clothes. Min-jae stopped, breathing hard. "We need to talk about your size." "I know. I'm a nursing student, remember? I understand anatomy." Delta's hands framed his face. "I trust you. Do you trust me?" "Yes." "Then stop thinking and kiss me." So he did. And for the first time in his life, Min-jae felt like maybe, just maybe, he wasn't alone anymore. Before you find out what happens next, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like on this video. This story is about to get intense, and you won't want to miss a single moment. The next morning, Min-jae woke up to delta tracing patterns on his chest. Sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, painting her skin gold. "I could get used to this," she murmured. "Then stay." She tensed. "It's not that simple." "Why not?" Before she could answer, his phone exploded with notifications. Min-jae grabbed it, his expression darkening with each message he read. "What is it?" Delta asked. "The Huang family. There's been an incident." He was already getting dressed, his movements sharp and controlled. "I have to go. Min-jae." He stopped, came back to the bed, kissed her hard. "Stay here. Don't leave. Promise me." "I promise." But they both knew she was lying. Min-jae's warehouse in Song-Sudong was chaos when he arrived. Tae-sung met him at the door, his face grim. "Boss, we need to talk. Privately." They went into the back office. Tae-sung pulled up a file on his tablet and Min-jae's blood went cold. Delta Okoye. Wanted by Interpol. The man she killed, Chikwudin Wosu, he wasn't just Black Axe. He was deep cover for the Nigerian Police Special Fraud Unit. His death blew a 3-year operation. "She told me it was self-defense." Maybe it was. But Interpol doesn't care. They've been tracking her for 2 years. And now that she's connected to you, they're watching us. Min-jae slammed his fist on the desk. "Who else knows?" "The Huang family. They're the ones who sent me this file. It's a message, boss. They know about her. They know she's your weakness. Then we protect her. Or we cut her loose before this destroys everything you've built." Min-jae grabbed Tae-sung by the collar. "I will burn this entire city down before I let anyone hurt her. Are we clear?" Tae-sung nodded slowly. "Clear, boss." But as Min-jae drove back to his penthouse, his phone rang. Unknown number. "Yes." "Min-jae," a voice said in Mandarin-accented Korean. "Huang Chen. I hear you've developed a taste for Nigerian women. Beautiful girl. Shame about her legal problems. What do you want?" "Respect. You killed my nephew. You think offering me his murderer makes us even?" "I didn't authorize." "I don't care about authorization. I care about blood. And since you seem so fond of your new pet, perhaps her blood will suffice." The line went dead. Min-jae's hands shook as he dialed Delta. No answer. He called again. Nothing. He pushed the accelerator to the floor, weaving through Seoul traffic, his heart hammering. When he burst into his penthouse, it was empty. No sign of struggle. Just a note on the kitchen counter in Delta's handwriting. Had to go to campus. Finals. Back by 6. Promise I'm being careful. He should have felt relieved. Instead, dread settled in his stomach like ice. At Yonsei University, Delta sat in her nursing exam, trying to focus on pharmacology questions while her mind raced. She'd seen the way Min-jae looked at his phone that morning. Something was wrong. Something big. After the exam, She walked across campus toward the subway station. The afternoon sun was warm. Students laughed around her. Everything felt normal. Then a black van pulled up beside her. The door slid open. Hands grabbed her. She tried to scream, but something pressed over her mouth, chemical sweet, and the world went dark. When she woke up, she was in a warehouse, tied to a chair. Her head throbbed. Across from her sat an older man in an expensive suit, flanked by armed guards. "Miss Okoye," Hwang Chun said. "Welcome. I apologize for the crude invitation, but Min-jae has been very rude to my family. I thought perhaps you could help me teach him some manners." Delta's training kicked in. Stay calm. Assess. Survive. What do you want? I want Min-jae to understand that actions have consequences. My nephew is dead. Someone must pay. Min-jae didn't kill your nephew. But he allowed it to happen. In his territory. Under his watch. Hwang Chen leaned forward. Tell me, Miss Okoye, how much are you worth to him? Enough to trade his empire? His life? He won't trade anything for me. Oh, I think he will. I've seen the security footage from his penthouse. The way he looks at you. The way he touches you. Hwang Chen smiled coldly. Men like Min-jae don't fall in love. But when they do, it's their greatest weakness. Delta's phone, still in her jacket pocket, buzzed. Hwang Chen took it, read the messages. 57 missed calls from Min-jae. Dozens of texts, increasingly frantic. See. He's already desperate. Hwang Chen sent a text from her phone, attached a photo of Delta tied up. Now we wait. 15 minutes later, Min-jae's response came. Name the place. I'll come alone. Pier 7. Incheon. Midnight. Just you. If I see any of your men, she dies. Hwang Chen looked at Delta. I almost feel sorry for him. Love makes men do very stupid things. You think this is about love? Delta's voice was steady. This is about respect. And you just made the biggest mistake of your life. How so? Because Min-jae isn't going to trade for me. He's going to kill every single one of you. Hwang Chen laughed. Big talk for a nursing student tied to a chair. I'm not just a nursing student. Delta met his eyes. I survived Lagos. I killed a man twice my size with a kitchen knife. And I learned a long time ago that the most dangerous person in the room is the one everyone underestimates. If you're loving this story so far, do me a favor and drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from. Are you Team Min-jae or Team Delta? Let me know. At his penthouse, Min-jae stared at the photo of Delta, bound and terrified, and something inside him broke. Not the clean break of anger. The messy, jagged break of fear. Of love. Of realizing you'd do anything, sacrifice anything, for one person. Taesung stood beside him. It's a trap. I know. They'll kill you both. Probably. So what's the plan? Min-jae looked at his oldest friend. Call Agent Park Ji-won. Tell her I'm ready to make a deal. Boss. Do it. Now. 20 minutes later, Agent Park Ji-won sat across from Min-jae in his penthouse, her expression skeptical. You want immunity, she said. In exchange for what? Everything. The Hwang family's operations. Their supply chains. Their money laundering. Their connections in Beijing. Everything I know, which is a lot. And the Nigerian girl? She was defending herself. Chukwudi Nwosu was going to kill her. I have proof. Security footage from her apartment building in Lagos that your people missed. It shows him entering her apartment with a weapon. Agent Park leaned forward. You've had this evidence the whole time? I got it this morning. Cost me $50,000 and called in a lot of favors. But yes, I have it. Delta was defending herself. And if you want the Hwang family, you'll clear her name and give her asylum. This is quite the offer. I'm quite motivated. Agent Park studied him. You love her. Does it matter? It matters because love makes people do stupid things. Like walk into obvious traps. I'm not stupid. I'm desperate. There's a difference. Agent Park pulled out her phone, made a call. Spoke in rapid Korean to someone higher up the chain. Finally, she nodded. We have a deal. But you're not going alone to Pier 7. We're setting up a perimeter. The moment Hwang makes his move, we take him down. He said he'll kill her if he sees anyone. He's going to kill her anyway. You know that. This way, we have a chance to save her. Min-jae closed his eyes. If she dies because of this. If she dies, it's because Hwang Chen is a monster. Not because you loved her. At midnight, Pier 7 was shrouded in fog, the shipping containers casting long shadows. Min-jae walked alone toward the warehouse, his hands empty, his heart racing. Hwang Chen emerged from the darkness, Delta beside him, a gun to her head. She looked terrified but alive, her eyes locking onto Min-jae's. I'm here, Min-jae said. Let her go. Not yet. First, you're going to kneel. What? Kneel. Show me that the great Min-jae can be humbled. Min-jae dropped to his knees. The concrete was cold and damp. He kept his eyes on Delta. Good, Hwang Chen said. Now tell her you're sorry for getting her involved in this world. Delta, Don't, Delta said. Don't you dare apologize for loving me. Hwang Chen pressed the gun harder against her temple. Touching. But insufficient. You see, Min-jae, I've been thinking. Killing you both sends a message. But making you watch her die first? That sends a better message. He started to pull the trigger. Delta moved. Years of nursing training meant she knew exactly where to strike. She drove her elbow back into Hwang Chen's solar plexus, then grabbed his gun hand, twisting with all her strength. The weapon discharged into the air. Chaos erupted. Police flooded in from every direction, their lights blinding, their voices shouting commands in Korean. Hwang's men scattered. Gunfire echoed across the pier. Min-jae ran to Delta, pulling her down behind a shipping container as bullets ricocheted around them. Are you hurt? He gasped. No. You. No. They stared at each other. Then Delta grabbed his face and kissed him, hard and desperate and alive. I thought I'd lost you, Min-jae whispered against her mouth. You can't lose me. I'm too stubborn. I love you. I know. I love you too. Now get us out of here. But Hwang Chen wasn't done. He emerged from behind a container, his weapon raised, his face twisted with rage. If I can't have my revenge, no one gets anything. He fired. Min-jae threw himself in front of Delta. The bullet caught him in the shoulder, spinning him around. He went down hard, blood spreading across his shirt. No! Delta screamed. She dropped beside him, her nursing training kicking in automatically. Stay with me. Min-jae, stay with me. Agent Park's team took down Hwang Chen before he could fire again. The old man collapsed, surrounded by police, screaming obscenities in Mandarin. Delta pressed her hands against Min-jae's wound, applying pressure. You're going to be okay. You hear me? You're going to be fine. Hurts, Min-jae gasped. I know it hurts. But you're tough. You survived building a criminal empire. You can survive a bullet. Delta. Save your breath. Paramedics are coming. Need to tell you. Tell me later. When you're not bleeding all over my hands. He smiled weakly. Bossy. Damn right. The ambulance ride to Seoul Medical Center was a blur. Delta held Min-jae's hand the entire time, refusing to let go even when the paramedics needed to work. At the hospital, they tried to separate them. I'm not leaving him, Delta said firmly. Miss, you need to let us. I'm a nursing student. I understand triage. I understand critical care. And I understand that he needs to know I'm here. So I'm staying. The doctor looked at her blood-covered hands, her fierce expression, and nodded. Fine. But stay out of the way. The surgery took 4 hours. Delta sat in the waiting room, still covered in Min-jae's blood, staring at nothing. Agent Park sat beside her. The deal stands, Agent Park said quietly. Min-jae's testimony, combined with what we found at the pier, is enough to dismantle the entire Hwang operation. And the evidence he provided about Chukudi Nwosu checks out. Nigerian authorities are willing to review your case. What does that mean? It means you might actually get to finish your nursing degree. Legally. Delta's hands shook. I don't understand. Why are you helping us? Because sometimes the bad guys do good things. And sometimes the system fails people who deserve better. Agent Park stood. Get some rest, Miss Okoye. You're going to need it for what comes next. What comes next? Testimony. Trials. Publicity. Your life is about to get very complicated. More complicated than being a fugitive. Agent Park smiled slightly. Fair point. When the surgeon finally emerged, Delta jumped to her feet. He's stable, the doctor said. The bullet missed major arteries. He'll need physical therapy, but he should make a full recovery. Can I see him? He's asking for you. Delta ran. Min-jae looked pale against the hospital sheets, and 4 in his arm, monitors beeping steadily. But when he saw her, he smiled. Hey, he said, his voice rough. Hey yourself. Delta pulled a chair close to his bed, took his hand. You scared the hell out of me. Sorry. Don't be sorry. Be smarter. Taking a bullet was incredibly stupid. Worth it. Min-jae. No, listen. He squeezed her hand. I spent my entire life building walls. Keeping people out. Being afraid that if anyone got too close, they'd see the real me and run. But you saw me. All of me. The good, the bad, the complicated. And you stayed. Tears slid down Delta's cheeks. Of course I stayed. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you're stuck with me anyway. He pulled her closer, ignoring the pain in his shoulder. Marry me. Delta froze. What? Marry me. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But I also know that life is short and people you love can be taken away in a second. So marry me, Delta Okoye. Be my wife. Let me spend the rest of my life proving that broken people can build something beautiful together. You're high on painkillers. I'm serious. Min-jae, we barely know each other. I know you're brave. I know you're stubborn. I know you fight like hell for the people you love. I know you saved my life twice tonight. What else do I need to know? Delta laughed through her tears. You're insane. Is that a yes? That's a maybe. Ask me again when you're not bleeding. Deal. She kissed him gently, mindful of his injuries. But for the record, I love you. And if you ever take a bullet for me again, I'll kill you myself. Noted. 3 months later, Delta walked across the stage at Yonsei University, accepting her nursing degree. Min-jae sat in the front row, his arm still in a sling, clapping louder than anyone. Beside him sat her sister Amara, who'd transferred to Seoul to be closer to Delta. Behind them sat Tae-sung, looking uncomfortable in a suit but smiling anyway. After the ceremony, outside in the sunshine, Min-jae got down on one knee. Properly this time, with a ring and a speech prepared. Delta Okoye, you saved my life in every way a person can be saved. You taught me that love isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. About being brave enough to let someone see your scars and trust they'll stay anyway. So I'm asking you again, sober this time, with witnesses. Will you marry me? Delta looked at the ring, at Min-jae's hopeful face, at the life they'd built from the ashes of their pasts. Yes, she said. Yes, absolutely yes. The small crowd that had gathered cheered. Amara cried happy tears. Taesung actually smiled. As Min-jae slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her, Delta thought about how far they'd come. From that first meeting at Velvet Rose to this moment, in the sunshine, with their whole lives ahead of them. They'd both been running from their pasts. But somewhere along the way, they'd stopped running and started building. A relationship. A future. A home. 6 months later, Delta Okoye became Delta Kim in a small ceremony overlooking the Han River. Min-jae had left his criminal empire behind, using his business skills to build legitimate ventures instead. Delta worked at Seoul Medical Center, saving lives instead of running from death. They bought a small apartment in Hongdae, nothing like Min-jae's old penthouse. It had 2 bedrooms, a tiny kitchen, and a view of a coffee shop instead of the river. It was perfect. Sometimes, late at night, Delta would wake from nightmares about Lagos, about Chikwudi, about the warehouse. Min-jae would hold her until the shaking stopped, whispering that she was safe, that he was there, that nothing would hurt her ever again. And sometimes Min-jae would wake up afraid that Delta would realize she deserved better and leave. She'd kiss him and remind him that broken things, when put together carefully, become stronger than they ever were alone. They were survivors. Both of them. And together they were unstoppable. Before we wrap up, if this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories like this. And I'm curious, where are you watching this from? Drop a comment and let me know what country or city you're in. I love hearing from you all around the world. Also, what did you think of Min-jae and Delta's story? Let me know in the comments below.